All right, how y'all doing? I want to talk a little bit just about some thoughts that have been running through my head. Um, you know how these videos go, so you know. Uh, and the question that I've been having run through my head and I've been thinking about is, what does the grace of God look like in the life? How do you look at a person and go, wow, they've got the grace of God within them? It's a valid question. We are called as Christians to show all the different aspects of who God is. We're called to show that He is love, that He is justice, that He has peace, that He is light, that He is truth, that He's all these things. And one of those things is grace. But before we get into that question, we have to answer, what is grace? When you hear someone say, by the grace of God, what does that mean? What is God's grace? Simply put, God's grace is when He does not give us what we deserve. That is the simplest way of putting it. Because I don't care who you are listening right now. I don't care what you've done. I don't care about any of that. It doesn't matter. Because what you deserve in and of yourself is eternal death and separation from your Creator. That's what we all deserve. The word we use for that is hell, but that's what we deserve. We deserve for God to cut us off and say, no more, I'm done with you. But God's grace says, no, I'm going to forgive you. Now, the route with which He goes through to make that forgiveness happen is a whole different discussion. Because God is just, He can't just forgive us without the payment for the sin being paid, and the payment for sin is death. But the one who pays the death has to be clean of the debt themselves, because otherwise they're only paying their own debt. So that's a whole different discussion. How does the debt of the world get paid when the world is sinful? You probably know the answer. If not, I'd be happy to explain it to you, but we're not going to get into that right now because that's not the point. So grace is God not giving me what I deserve. Now, think of how many times you or me or, anybody you've heard pray, or not even pray, but say, this isn't fair. I don't deserve this, meaning they don't deserve the bad thing that's happening to them right now. Well, really, that's not quite true, because in all reality, we deserve every bad thing that happens in our life. And more. God stops a lot of the bad things that could happen. He doesn't stop them all, because He has purposes for those bad things. He uses even the things that we consider bad for His purpose and His good and His glory. So, whatever trial you're going through, whatever challenge you're facing, just be aware that God is not wringing His hands trying to figure out how He's going to fix it. God is not confused about what's going on. God has a plan, and He's going to use that thing, however terrible it is, for His glory. And I can't tell you how, okay? You may never see how. There are things that happen in our lives that happen and are bad, and we never see the good that comes out of them, because God is using those things for someone else's good, not mine. And that's okay. And it's easy to say that's okay, looking back from the end of the tunnel, so to speak. While you're in the tunnel, it's kind of hard to do that. Speaking for myself there, I know the times when I've been feeling, those times in my life where I've had those really dark trials going and I'm in the tunnel and I can't see the end of it. It's kind of hard to say, well, this is okay, because God's going to get glory out of it. It's much easier to say, I don't deserve this, like a spoiled little kid. So, grace is not getting what we deserve, because what we deserve is death, and God says, no, I'm going to deal with that. You get life. So how do we show grace? Well, that's a hard one. Not hard to answer, but hard to enact. Because the world we live in these days is so focused on the thought of everything's got to be fair, and we want to get, we want to get what we deserve, and we want other people to get what they deserve. Now, we only want other people to get what they deserve when it's something bad most of the time, and we only want to get what we deserve when we think we deserve something good most of the time. But how do we show grace? Well, simple enough. You show grace by not giving people what you think they deserve. If someone cuts you off in traffic and you think they deserve for you to tell them off or whatever, don't do it. If someone says something that hurts your feelings and you think they deserve to have something said back to them, a comeback, don't say it. If someone physically hurts you and you think they deserve to be hurt back, don't do it. Now, am I saying that you should be a complete pacifist, and if someone comes up and threatens your life or your family's life, you should just sit there and take it? No, I'm not. Anyone who knows me knows I'm not saying that at all. But if somebody just walks up and sucker punches me and then walks off, well, the human part of me is going to say they deserve for me to chase them down and beat them down, right? The grace part should say, no. And that goes with so many other things, It can apply to any time in life where we feel wronged and feel like we want to get justice and get revenge and get back at someone because they did us wrong and we didn't deserve it. Well, you did, first off. And grace would say, even if you didn't deserve it, even if they do deserve comeuppance or repent or revenge or whatever, don't do it. And that's a hard one. That's tough. That's what we're called to do. So there's an attribute of God that we are called to emulate in our lives. Good luck.